Page 201, Chapter 10, Back in the Saddle, Indira Gandhi's Return to Power. A series of by-elections to state assemblies as well as the Lok Sabha after the 1977 Lok Sabha election clearly signalled Indira Gandhi's return to power. Indira Gandhi had decisively demonstrated her strength in the south, and now it was time to turn north and showcase her strength in the Hindi belt where the party had been routed in the earlier general elections. Congress I won the Azamgarh Lok Sabha seat in addition to Manakpur and 7 assembly seats in Uttar Pradesh and the Khed Brahma assembly seat in Gujarat. In the Lok Sabha constituency of Karnal in Haryana and Samastipur in Bihar, and Samastipur in Bihar, the Congress I was very close to victory. This was not only a demonstration of strength of the party led by Indira Gandhi, but also a clear indication that people had no confidence in the Congress led by Chavan and his followers. Their candidates, including Chandrajit Yadav and Shanti Bhushan, were decisively defeated in all the by-elections. They won only one, the Jaipur seat in Purulia, West Bengal. Of all the by-election seats contested during this period. Para. The CWC, while congratulating the electorate, observed, page 202. They have given a clear verdict symbolizing the unmistakable trend in the thinking of the vast masses of people in areas where they had only a year ago turned away from Congress. Having been catapulted into power more as the political accident than more as a political accident than a positive political achievement, it was no surprise that the Janata Party should have totally failed to deliver the goods and should have rapidly lost the confidence of the masses. As already reiterated by the Congress on several occasions in the past, the people have, quite naturally, again begun to look to the Congress for providing the leadership and delivering them from the morass of problems arising out of the commissions and omissions of the Janata Party government. Footnote 74. Para. The most significant victory of the party, however, came from the relatively lesser-known Lok Sabha constituency of Karnataka, Chikmagalur, which returned Indira Gandhi to Parliament in November 1978. Someone had suggested that she be elected to the Rajya Sabha from Karnataka, and her name was quietly registered from Chikbalapur. However, she did not like the idea, preferring to contest elections for the Lok Sabha instead. And as the Chikmagalur Lok Sabha seat fell vacant, an opportunity presented itself. We did not announce her candidature. It was apprehended that the central government may, on some pretext or the other, stall the by-election to prevent her re-entry into the Lok Sabha. The decision was, therefore, kept a closely guarded secret. As soon as the time schedule of the by-election was made public, the party announced her candidature. It came as a shock to the Janata Party, which frantically started looking for a suitable candidate to field against her. Footnote 74. Resolution of the Congress Working Committee, 15th May 1978. However, none of the opposition stalwarts of the party were willing to fight the election against her, even though all of them agreed to oppose her. Page 203. George Fernandes, the Industries Minister in the Janata Party, belonged to this area. He was put in charge of the campaign and election management. Leveraging his goodwill in the state, Virendra Patil formed Karnataka Chief Minister. I repeat, Virendra Patil, former Karnataka Chief Minister, was fielded as the Janata Party candidate. George Fernandes and other Janata Party leaders put their entire might into the campaign to ensure Indira Gandhi's defeat. Union Home Minister Charan Singh went to the extent of telling voters not to waste their vote on a candidate who would not, I repeat, who would rot in jail for the rest of her life, even if she was elected. Some newspaper groups, particularly the Indian Express Group, intensified the detailing and reportage on the depositions before the Shah Commission. Thousands of copies of these newspapers were distributed for free. A young woman named Nandana, who was the daughter of noted artist Snehalata Reddy, demonstrated with a group of girls at every public meeting Indira Gandhi addressed. The motive was clear. They wanted to provoke the police into taking action against such disturbance. If the police took the bait, they would pass the buck on to the state administration, then run by our party, and allege that they had been obstructed from conducting free and fair elections. Devraj had a tough job. He instructed the police to exercise utmost restraint. Para. The campaign management and election work had been carried out efficiently. All 8 assembly segments were placed in charge of responsible leaders, state ministers, former union ministers, MPs and MLAs. K. Lakkappa and, I repeat, K. Lakkappa, the MP from Tumkur, actively worked for Indira Gandhi. Though he did not join our party, veteran Congress leader K. Hanumanthaya supported Indira Gandhi and spoke at some public meetings. R. Gundurao, Devraj Urs, and Margaret Alva all worked very hard during this election. Page 204. Para. The public euphoria surrounding Indira Gandhi had reached its zenith, with some sections of women worshipping her as a deity. Hundreds and thousands of people from the oppressed sections of society turned up at her meetings. While a section of the Indian media continued to find fault, foreign journalists covering the election were impressed with her hard work and professional expertise during the campaign. London-based Indian author Shushtibrata, who was covering the election for the BBC and who was otherwise very critical of the emergency, was all praise for Indira Gandhi's professional electioneering. Para. Janata Party leaders, aided by a section of the media, alleged that our party was spending money like water. One newspaper reported that as a close confidant of Indira Gandhi, I was especially entrusted with the protection of the party's cash chest. George Fernandez enacted a drama by going door to door to raise small collections. He was snapped by newspapers, bucket in hand, collecting donations from shopkeepers. The picture they tried to portray was that while the Janata Party was strapped for cash, Indira Gandhi's party was flush with truckloads of it. All major Janata Party leaders, except the Prime Minister, visited the constituency and addressed meetings. But their collective strength was not enough to prevent Indira Gandhi's re-entry into Parliament. She won the Lok Sabha seat of Chikmagalur by a margin of over 80,000 votes over her nearest rival. Para. The history of contemporary India took another turn with her re-entry into the Lok Sabha. The reaction of the ruling Janata Party and some others was less than dignified. The Janata Party, open bracket, as also a section of the media, close bracket, tried to explain away her success by attributing it to the popularity of Devraj Urs. Talk of her, open inverted comma, money power, close inverted comma, also figured among the popular public slander. S.A. Dange, veteran leader of India's communist movement, was at his sarcastic best when he lambasted the self-styled crusaders of democracy by sending a, open inverted comma, condolence, close inverted comma, telegram to the Janata Party election manager George Fernandez. Page 205. After the victory at Chikmagalur, Indira Gandhi decided to visit England on invitations from various organizations, including the Indo-British Friendship Society. For this week-long visit, Lord Swaraj Pal, I repeat, Lord Swaraj Pal took the responsibility of coordinating her itinerary. Her passport had been impounded earlier, but permission was granted and a diplomatic passport was issued to her. The other invitees accompanying Indira Gandhi, apart from Geeta and myself, were Sonia Gandhi, A.P. Sharma, C.M. Stephen, open bracket, leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, close bracket, Darbara Singh and Madhav Singh Solanki. We took an Air India flight on 10th November. Indira Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Geeta and I stayed at the Claridge's. Para. A small group of Indians were demonstrating against her when we landed, but adequate security arrangements had been made. A large number of press correspondents posed many questions. a section of the British press had already made up its mind against her and advised public figures in the UK to be cool in their response to her. The Sunday Times editorial called her, open inverted comma, a thoroughly corrupt person and an unwelcome visitor, close inverted comma. It observed, open inverted comma, unlike Mrs. Gandhi's India, this is a free country. Therefore, anyone who wants to come here on a visit should be free to do so. This does not mean, however, that Mrs. Gandhi should be welcomed, celebrated, honored, or in any way acknowledged by politicians with a claim to represent the people of this country. Close inverted comma. The Sunday Telegraph advised that a, open inverted comma, cool politeness is probably the wisest attitude for British public figures to adopt towards the former Indian dictator. Close inverted comma. The Economist reminded people that, open inverted comma, she should not be allowed to win the international approval she was seeking, close inverted comma. Para. However, all the advice and reminders had no effect. Her visit was received with considerable enthusiasm by the British public and politicians. She was invited by the British Prime Minister, James Callaghan, to 10 Downing Street for tea. She called on Lord Mountbatten and met Margaret Thatcher, the then leader of the opposition, who later became Prime Minister. Michael Foot, the British Deputy Prime Minister, described her as the unifier of India and champion of liberty by referring to her contribution to the liberation of Bangladesh. In the speech delivered at the annual dinner of the Indo-British Friendship Society, Michael Foot went to the extent of remarking that the, open inverted comma, life of Indira Gandhi is not a closed chapter. Many more glorious achievements are yet to be added to it. Close inverted comma. The years that followed proved how prophetic he was. 4 years later, in 1982, I met Michael Foot again at the annual dinner of the same society. He was then the leader of the opposition. I reminded him of his prophecy about Indira Gandhi, much to his delight. Para. The reaction among Janata Party supporters in London was sharp. They organized demonstrations against Indira Gandhi almost everywhere, with those at Southall being particularly ugly and violent. Even before her arrival, the Pro-Janata Association, the Friends of the Indian Society International, had distributed letters all across the UK asking people to tell her that, open inverted comma, she was an unwanted person, close inverted comma. Para. Her visit to the Wales, I repeat, her visit to Wales was remarkable. At the inauguration of the spiral steel mill owned by Swaraj Paul, her emotional speech swept the audience off its feet. Wales is the place where Aneurin Bevan had made his historical speeches to further the cause of socialism. Bevan was a personal friend of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Against this historical backdrop, the followers of Bevan and his daughter and the daughter of Nehru made a pretty picture together and evoked intense spells of nostalgia. Page 207. Moved by her speech, a worker commented that she was sure to win the parliamentary seat if she chose to contest from Wales. The Wales story was distorted by some Indian journalists, and a yarn also spun regarding her, open inverted comma, investment of money, close inverted comma, in steel mill. Para. On the way back to India, she decided to meet some important Soviet leaders at the Moscow airport. Arrangements were made, but nothing was disclosed, not even to the other party members. I was the only one accompanying her. Open bracket, Sonia Gandhi had gone to Italy to meet her relatives and extended her stay in Europe. My wife Geeta had decided to stay on in England for another 4 weeks. Close bracket. We decided to leave for India by Aeroflot Airlines. There was no passenger in the first-class cabin of the aircraft except the two of us. A CPI leader from Uttar Pradesh traveling from London on the same aircraft recognized Indira Gandhi. Para. We were taken to the reserved lounge at the Moscow airport. Indira Gandhi was taken to another room where she met the Soviet dignitary. I stayed with the other Soviet officials and had dinner with them. Nobody came to know what actually happened at the airport. Later, the CPI leader, who had recognized Indira Gandhi, spread the news that Indira Gandhi and I had got off at the Moscow airport, but that he had no idea who she had met. The Indian embassy, too, had no knowledge about this visit. Some press persons, I repeat, some press persons later wanted me to disclose the name of the Soviet leader. Nobody believed me when I pleaded. I repeat, some press persons later wanted me to disclose the name of the Soviet leader. Nobody believed me when I pleaded ignorance. But the media soon lost interest in the subject, since more important developments were taking place in Parliament at the same time. Para. Indira Gandhi took oath as a member of the Lok Sabha on 20th November. Having been elected from Karnataka, she took the oath in Kannada. Janata Party and CPI-M members like Jyoti Basu stated that with her, open inverted comma, evil has come back to Parliament, close inverted comma. I repeat, Janata Party and CPIM members like Jyoti Basu stated that with her, open inverted comma, evil has come back to Parliament, close inverted comma. Page 208. Other than that, most members welcomed her warmly, but it wasn't for long that she was an MP. Para. The question of breach of privilege against her and some other persons was raised on the floor of the House by two Janata members, Madhulimai and Kanwar Lal Gupta, in November 1978, and was referred to the Privilege Committee by the Speaker. The Janata Party held a majority within the committee, and she was accused of obstruction, intimidation, harassment, and institution of a false case against certain officials who were collecting information in connection with Maruti Udyog Limited during the 5th Lok Sabha. Indira Gandhi gave them her version of the story. It was pointed out that the officers concerned were not officers of Parliament and thus could not claim parliamentary privilege. They were government officials and were asked to do a job which was, by nature, within their regular duties. But logic found no home, and she was found guilty. The committee came to the, open inverted comma, inescapable conclusion, close inverted comma, that Indira Gandhi had misused her position as Prime Minister to protect the interests of Maruti Udyog Limited, which was controlled and managed by her son. She was held guilty of a, open inverted comma, serious breach of privilege and contempt of the House, close inverted comma. Along with her, R.K. Dhawan, her former additional private secretary, and D. Sen, former director of the CBI, were held guilty. However, according to practice, the committee left to the, open inverted comma, collective wisdom of the House to award such punishment as it may deem fit, close inverted comma. Para. The motion was moved in the House by Prime Minister Morarji Desai as leader of the House. Janardhan Thakur, in his book, Indira Gandhi and Her Power Game, has mentioned that there were both hawks and doves in the Janata Party. Footnote 75. Footnotes. Footnote 75. Janardhan Thakur, Indira Gandhi and Her Power Game, New Delhi, 1979, pages 90 to 91. Some wanted her to be punished severely, while others wanted to play soft. Morarji Desai and Charan Singh were, for once, united on the need for, open inverted comma, stern action, close inverted comma. Atal Bihari Vajpayee suggested that a, open inverted comma, reprimand, close inverted comma, would be enough. Para. The Hawks won, and the motion was carried. She was to be expelled from the House and was to be imprisoned till the House was prorogued. Many political parties opposed this severe punishment. Even the CPIM, in its Politburo resolution, advised against stern action. It said, open inverted comma, there has been a lot of dithering and softness when hard political decisions had to be taken. In such a situation, to strike heroic and militant poses on the privilege issue and demand extreme action will be counterproductive in the struggle against authoritarianism and give an excuse to opponents to appear as martyrs and claim the sympathy of the people. Close inverted comma. The Congress led by Chavan also opposed the extreme step, but to no avail. The hawks in the Janata Party were determined to eliminate her. Para. Some feelers were sent to us indicating that if Indira Gandhi apologized, she would not be expelled or jailed. The idea was repugnant to her, and she rejected it outright. Her speech on this occasion was inspiring and prophetic. Open bracket, see Appendix 13, close bracket. She said that she was prepared to go to jail to vindicate her principles and ideals. She had been prepared for an eventuality like this for many months. Warning the government, she said, open inverted comma, the failures of this government are leading to its isolation from people everywhere. The ineptitude of this government has destroyed the cohesiveness of the administration and created a situation of uncertainty and insecurity. If this situation is not reversed, it will provide fertile soil for the growth of fascism. Close inverted comma. Para. After adopting the motion, the House was adjourned at 5 p.m. on 19 December. She had to wait in the House for nearly 3 hours. We waited with her, as did Sonia and Maneka Gandhi and the children. She consoled everyone and quoted a line from an English poet that read, open inverted comma, say goodbye, not with tears, but with smiles. Close inverted comma. Para. The Janata Party did not stop at expelling her from the Lok Sabha and sending her to jail. A bill was passed in the Lok Sabha seeking to set up special courts to try certain cases and organize summary trials, with the obvious target being Indira and Sanjay Gandhi and some of their followers. There were mass agitations on the issue of setting up special courts. The party organized a nationwide protest against this judicial persecution. In Delhi, a massive rally was organized on 16th May at Ramlila Maidan, attended by a large number of people from different parts of the country. Para. The reaction of Indira Gandhi's expulsion from the House and subsequent imprisonment was spontaneous. The party gave a call to all workers and sympathizers of the party to rise to the occasion and to protest against the most savage outrage on democracy. The Congress High Working Committee met on 20th and 21st December 1978 in New Delhi, and passed a resolution condemning the action and laid the grounds for the response. Para. The movement launched throughout India gathered momentum, and thousands of satyagrahis across the country courted arrest. The response was so spontaneous that the AICC had to issue circulars from time to time to ensure that the movement continued in a disciplined manner. In one such circular, open bracket, number 34, 21st December 1978, close bracket, AICC General Secretary Bhuta Singh pointed out, open inverted comma, in such a situation, discipline becomes the lifeline of our organization. It has also to be ensured and followed by every congressman vigorously. Breach of this discipline will not only weaken our organization, but it will also harm the Satyagraha itself. Close inverted comma. Para. Reports of more and more Satyagrahis courting arrest started reaching the AICC office. Many refused to be released on bail, leading to a situation where some prisons had to erect tents in Maidans to house the detainees. Page 211. Even the North Indian winter did not dampen their spirits. However, after a while, the jail bharo, I repeat, the open inverted comma, jail bharo, close inverted comma, movement was discontinued. On 27th December 1978, the CWC directed congressmen to henceforth concentrate on organizing public meetings, rallies, and undertaking padyatras. Para. An eventful 1978 came to an end. It had started uncertainly for us, precipitated by the split in the Congress, but ended with hope and renewed strength. Demonstrating her mass appeal, her caliber as the only leader with a pan-India appeal, Indira Gandhi had decisively established her Congress as the open inverted comma, real, close inverted comma, Congress. Indira Gandhi was a confident and far-sighted leader, insightful regarding people as well as electoral politics, a combination which made her a rare politician. Not only that, her short period in the political wilderness revealed her strength. For one used to a comfortable life, she wasn't fazed at having to sleep under the open sky during the Azamgarh election campaign, or when, during her electioneering in Andhra Pradesh, her circuit house reservation was found to be cancelled, or indeed when she had to travel on the back of an elephant to Belgi. Under her inspiring leadership, it took Congress workers just a year to regain courage, conviction, and confidence in the future. The non-performing conglomeration known as the Janata Party started counting its days. Fraught with inherent contradictions, it had no stamina to face the opposition provided by a strong and determined Congress under the leadership of Indira Gandhi. The writing was on the wall, though some simply refused to read it. At the beginning of the year, the Congress faction, at the beginning of the year, the Congress faction led by Chavan had deserted Indira Gandhi and chosen to recede into oblivion. When the year ended, the Janata Party dug its own grave by expelling her from the Lok Sabha and sending her to jail.